What's up, everybody, man? I suppose you guys can see me, and I hope everybody is watching. And if you're not watching, that's fine. You'll be catching up. Anyway, I wanted to. Why is this repeating itself? Anyway, so I'm gonna carry on. I want to discuss about how to be vulnerable as a masculine man. And you might ask me, well, why do men need to be vulnerable? Wait, give me a second here. This is the first time I go live on iPhone because I need to get myself a PC. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear me. Anyway, so I want to discuss about being vulnerable and why, for masculine men especially, and why this is a ridiculous thing to be, right? And how we can actually be vulnerable in a real way, you know, meaning you can be vulnerable, you can be what the woman wants you to be and what the society wants you to be. Because what does the society want you to be? The society wants you to be pathetic, weak pussy, right? That's what the society wants you to be. Now, when women ask men to be vulnerable, do not get it confused. They do not mean that you need to get on your knees and start crying. So that's the thing that most men get wrong, especially pussies, right? That's the thing that most pussies get wrong. Because what do I mean by this? Guys, think about it, right? Think about it. When a woman is scared of the spiders, where does she run to? If let's say you're in her house, she goes behind your back, right? She expects you to be the one who faces the danger, right? When you guys get into an accident, for example, first time I got my car, I got into an accident. Now, in the car, I was with the lady, I was with the sweetheart, you know, and she got scared. She really got scared, and obviously, I had to comfort her. I had to be like, "Hey, listen, baby, it's all right. It's all good. Nobody's harmed. Nobody's injured. It is perfectly fine. Do not worry about the car. I'll take care of it. Don't worry. Just relax. I got her water. I got her water, and then I sent her home, and then I carried on to handle, you know, the issues, the matter that was in the way, right? So at that moment, right, at that moment, if I was vulnerable, because what's the meaning of being vulnerable? Being vulnerable, it means, you know, you, and if you don't know that, you can check my in the description. I put the meaning over there, right? If you type that word on Google, you see it has nothing good to it. Anything that is vulnerable, it can be it can be easily attacked. Meaning, an animal in the jungle that is vulnerable, even a human being. If let's say you go, you go to safari, and for some incidents, your crew leaves you over there, you're gonna get, you're gonna get fucked if you find yourself in a jungle and you're limping, right? If your leg is limping, meaning y- y- let's say if you have polio, for example, one leg is shorter and one leg is longer than the other, you're gonna have an issue because if a lion or any animal or any wild dog sees you, he's surely going to attack you. Why? Because you are vulnerable, right? So when that lion sees you, give me a second. When that lion sees you, it will want to attack you. Why? It will want to attack you. Why? Because you're the easiest thing to get on, right? Meaning, when it sees you, you're the easiest prey to catch. So, the society being obsessed on men being vulnerable, right? With men being able to, to be to cling on to their emotions. No, 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 no. This makes you as a man, it makes you actually in a bad position because if danger comes, and danger, guys, danger always comes, especially if you're a man, especially if you was born without a vagina. You know for a fact that you're going to be harmed if you're not prepared. You know for sure. And guys, let me know if you can hear me, right? And if everything's clear, please let me know. Let me know. Ahmed, can you hear me clearly? Like, am I coming off clear? This is my first time doing live on iPhone, so um, let's see where I'm from. I'm from Canada, brother. I'm from Canada. I'm from the Great White North. That's where I'm from. I'm from Canada. Where you from, brother? Where you from? Uh, well, I hope you guys can hear me, right? I hope you guys can hear me. No, I'm from Ottawa. I'm from Ottawa. Right. I want to go to Vancouver this summer, but yeah, I'm from Ottawa, man. I'm from Ottawa. Um, yeah, I suppose you guys can hear me. Anyway, so I'll carry on, right? So the society expects men to be vulnerable, right? They want you to be, you know, in touch with your emotions, right? They want you to be in. Actually, brother, maybe we could, connect and you know, actually get to know each other in a way. If I do come to Vancouver, that would be great. It would be a pleasure. But anyway, so we see the society pushing this man being vulnerable, right? Meaning, oh, please be weak. Like it's okay to, you know, to cry. It's okay to show the whole world that like it's okay to feel things. It's okay to be this and express yourself. No, no, no. Guys, again, like I say, check that meaning of being vulnerable, being vulnerable on Google. You will see. There is nothing good about being that. Actually, if somebody is vulnerable, he's easily manipulated. You know, meaning if as a man you're being vulnerable, you're too much into your feelings, I can easily manipulate you. Meaning I can have you do anything because you can't think, right? Because you're just too much in your feelings, right? Any small thing I can say, let's say I want to trick you into your freedom, meaning you're rich, you're very rich, you have some money on you, and I'm envious of you. What I'm gonna do if I know that you're the type of a guy that you're just overly emotional and you can kill somebody off just him looking you bad. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say something to you, and when I say that thing to you, that thing that I said to you is gonna make you react. And when it makes you react, you might slap me. And when you slap me, I'll press charges, and when I press charge, you know, you're gonna have bunch and bunch of the stuff to pay, right? Which means you're going to not only waste your time, but also you're gonna waste your money. Again, that's because you emotionally available. That means you're vulnerable, right? Meaning it's like, oh, you in touch with your emotions, right? Now, I'm not saying men we do not feel, right? That's not what I'm saying. We men we do feel things. We feel anger, we feel love, we feel lost sometimes, right? We feel these things, but the difference between a strong man and a vulnerable man is a strong man, you feel these things, but these things do not control you. You know, you feel fear, you feel lost in the world, but you still wake up in the morning and plan your day. You say, okay, I don't have any money. What am I gonna do? Okay, I'm gonna get a job at McDonald's. I don't care if it's a low, decide deem that to be low, low quality job. But in your mind as a man, you understand that you have to provide for yourself first. So you're not really gonna care about the world because the only thing that's gonna be meaningful to you is getting the little bread that you can get. That's gonna be the only thing on your mind, right? The ability to find the means to take care of yourself. Now, if you're too much in touch with your emotions, you're gonna end up actually not going to McDonald's because you're thinking that everybody's looking at you. You know, you just way too worried. And if let's say you start walking at a let's say you're walking at McDonald's and then your manager says something crazy, you end up fighting everybody just because emotionally you're just weak. You're not gonna be able to tell the difference between, oh, this is a joke and this is not a joke. You know, when a strong man do not get easily offended, like you cannot easily offend me, you can't easily move me. Now, if you touch me, definitely I'm gonna do something to you for sure. Because if you put your hands on me, come on now, I'm look, I'm not just a dummy, but like words, I understand that you know sticks and bones. My sticks and stone might break my bones, but words can never do anything to me. So, but that's only if I'm strong. And when I say strong, I'm not just talking about physically. That's if I'm mentally strong. But if I'm vulnerable, if I'm mentally vulnerable, I'm gonna react. You know, I'm just going to react. Meaning, people are just gonna be saying things and I'm just gonna be reacting to those things. People are gonna say, "Oh, you fat," and I'm going, "What did you say?" I'm just gonna react. You're gonna say, "Oh, you're skinny, motherfucker." I don't know what you say. I'm just gonna react to that. So when I'm mentally weak, then I'm very, very vulnerable to the attacks of the outsiders. Right? I become like that ship that has a hole downstairs. Right? The water will get in that ship would definitely sink. You see. So what I'm saying is that, excuse me. What I'm saying is that as a man, if you can't really listen to what the society tells you, right? You really have to see, you have to look at yourself. When I say as a man, you have to really look at yourself as something very like an expendable. I don't know if you guys watched the movie Expendables with the Rambo and like the Expendables, all of them, guys. You see that those soldiers, they're very good at what they're doing, but they're very expendable, meaning the society is sort of put them on the side. Now, as a man, it might be like that too. The society might want you to be, you know, a pussy like, right? The society might want you to be pussy like. The society might want you to be vulnerable, but the society might want you to be weak, timid, you know, very depressed, very confused. Why? Because again, the profit of that. When you're insecure, guess what? The decided profits on that. When you're the type of man that's just pursuing beauty like a woman, meaning you're all about looking beautiful. You just want to look beautiful. You will be insecure, and with that insecurity, the society is gonna feed off that. How is it gonna feed off that? Well, you're gonna buy products and then you're gonna want to buy more products, which you're gonna want to buy more products, right? Because you're gonna be pursuing this beauty that never reaches. You're gonna be just like a woman, you're gonna be just like a girl. Again, for women, it's all right, we want women to look good, we want women to look beautiful because that's what attracts us to them. But see, women do not want you to look like them. A woman just wants you to be. A woman she can look. She wants to look good because that's how she's gonna be able to. It's a bait, right? It's how she catches a man's attention by looking a certain way, right? But as a man, the way you catch a woman's attention is through not being a pussy, meaning you have to be the beast instead of a vagina. You have to be a man instead of a timid whatever. But the society today, what is doing to us is, it's telling us, oh, do this, or you want to get women, do this, or you want to, like, it's telling us to do things that has nothing to do with us. right? You hit that a lot. You know, you watch videos with people saying, "Oh man, I've lost it. Oh, you know, dating is gonna be it is difficult today." No, no, no. And you know, dating only becomes difficult when you as a man you actually focus on woman, right? When you actually focus on what the side is telling you. Listen, I go outside, you know, I get rejected, you know, I get some play, right? Everything happens, right? And that's, you know, that's what it means to actually be a man. It means that you go, like you really go and face the world as is, right? You don't just listen and study things. No, you go and accumulate experiences through the world. Meaning, you go, you talk to some people. Some people they become very mean, meaning they really become mean, right? And you build that strength in your mind to be able to be like, okay, I mean, yeah, I talked to her and she cussed me out like crazy. All right. First time you felt weird, you know, nobody wants to be cast at. Second time, no so. And then the third time, yeah, I don't care. And actually being like that, it makes you superior to any man because most men they actually are vulnerable, right? Meaning most men they want to protect their emotions, you know, they wanna you know, they when something is wrong, they just wanna cry about it, you know, instead of understanding. See, when you understand that, okay, look, she doesn't like me, I don't need to feel bad. I don't need to feel bad. Because what if, you know, a woman, a fat woman without teeth, smelling with the hair under her armpit, she came to me and she wanted to have sex with me. And by law, I have to have sex with her. Meaning I can't say no, even though I'm not attracted, but I can't say no. I just have to, you know, I have to take it. Oh, would that be good to me? No. So if she don't like me for some reasons, I don't know, you know, if let's say she don't like black men and I'm a black man, that's fine. You know, if she only likes white man, that's fine. You know, if she only listen like fat man and I'm not fat and I'm skinny, that's perfect. If she likes fit man and I'm not fit, if she's intimidated by men who are, you know, muscular and I'm very muscular, that's fine. You know, and it is that realization that it is that realization that makes it difficult for a man to get in his emotions, right? It is realizing that listen, no, it's fine. If the job doesn't hire me, I'm not the problem. The job is just they don't see me as somebody who can give them what they want, right? If in a relationship with a woman, and for some reason things end up not happening, I'm not the problem, and she's not the problem neither. Things just ended because things were supposed to end, right? I'm not gonna beg. I'm not gonna be no. If things were supposed to go on to carry on, things will carry on. I'm not gonna rise and kiss her ass and try to be what I'm not. No, I'm not gonna be that, right? But it's a realization, you know, it's realization. But the study is telling you, oh, please cry, you know, like feel things, man. Be like men who feel things. Listen, the study might tell you like that. The woman she might tell you that, and in her mind or in their mind they might want that. But like I say, when danger happens, you know, when tragedy comes, you know, you're not gonna be useful. You know, you're not gonna be useful because guys, you have to understand that men and women will be very different, and it is our differences that makes us valuable, right? It is the fact that you can kill that cat, you know, you can kill that dog that is attacking her without thinking, without even having to emotionally connect with that animal. Like you just get rid of it. Why? Because logically you don't even think. Now for her femininity, you know, her ability to be in touch with, you know, her emotions, not nurturing and caring for things. That's what makes you. attracted to her because you don't have that, right? She has that. So because she has that now, obvious, unfortunately, not all women have that today. Just like men, women have lost some of the qualities that men enjoy, you know. But you see that our differences makes things interesting, right? So a woman should look for a strong, powerful man who is mentally strong, meaning there is no law, there is no man under the sun that is going to mentally move you from here to there. If a woman sees that the world can manipulate you, if the woman sees on, all your friends or all your family, they see that the world can easily move you, easily push you, easily take you here, take you there, they're not gonna respect you. Matter of fact, them too, because you're vulnerable, them too, they're gonna wanna, fuck you over. They're gonna wanna mess you over. Why? Because they see that, oh, this guy, he's getting picked up, he's getting picked upon. He doesn't get respected. He doesn't even respect himself. He doesn't have you know, any substance to him. Then why should I? Why should I even respect him when he doesn't respect himself? Look how they're talking to him. Look how they're treating him. Like he doesn't even have any sense of authority to himself. Forget the people, just to himself. Meaning, if he says something to, he's gonna do. If he says he's gonna clap somebody, he doesn't even do it. How can I even take him serious? You know. So the world won't respect you. Yes, the society wants you to be, oh, please be vulnerable. No, 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 no. But like I said, once you're that, the world is just not gonna care. You know, the world is not gonna take you as any serious because the world only respects people who get shit done. And fortunately enough, we've seen through history, through generations, and through, I'm talking about Africa, I'm talking about Canada, I'm talking about in the States, I'm talking about all of everywhere in Arab countries and even in primitive countries, for example. They only respect people that, you know, take care of business, get shit done, right? And when you're vulnerable, you wear too much in your emotions. You wear too much into your head. You want to be loved. When you want to be loved, you can't get shit done. Because y- that woman, she might feel some type of way because you know you spoke to that you know waiter in certain way, right? You might be on a date and then you get served. You ask for a well cooked steak or something rare, you know, and then and then they serve you something that is already burnt. They serve out also a steak that is burnt out, meaning the chef just cooked it so bad that he burned it. And then you, if you're too much of a pussy, you're not gonna be able to. You're not gonna be able to call it out. You're not gonna be like, yo, listen, I asked for something better. Now, I expect something better because I'm gonna pay something better. Now you're just gonna want to be you're just gonna want to be mature about it, which is so stupid. You know, somebody served you something that you didn't ask, but yet because you don't want to be, you don't want to be a threat, you don't want to make people uncomfortable. You're gonna take it, you're gonna eat it, and that's being weak. That's what the society wants, because when you're like that, I mean, they can push any agendas to you. You know, they can push any agenda to you, guys. I'm telling you. Listen, lean into your weaknesses. Lean into your, mommy, meaning you lean into your emotions, feel, no, 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 lean into your securities so much, you see, you will hurt yourself, man. You will hurt yourself to the bone. You're not gonna like yourself. You will hate yourself. Why? Because deep down, you will be betraying your own nature. You're gonna be betraying your own nature. You're gonna be letting yourself fucking down. Why? Because as a man, we're not supposed to be vulnerable. Matter of fact, you know what it means to be vulnerable for a man? You know what that simply truly means? When a man, a real man, a masculine man, the only way to be vulnerable as a masculine man is express yourself fully. Meaning, accept the challenge. Be a fighting, be in business, be in school, be with push-up, be in the gym, be in swimming, be in anything. You must accept challenge, you know, because when you accept challenge, there is abilities that there is possibilities that you might fail, right? Somebody might outdo you, or they might outswim you, but don't even get that in your mind. But when you're vulnerable as a man, you accept life as is. You know, you talk like a man, even though the whole world accepts and claps and celebrates men who talk like vaginas. You must talk like a fucking man. You must talk as men talk, how does men talk? Well, you talk with authority. No, I don't like that. No, my steak wasn't well made. No, I'm not gonna give you a tip. You do not deserve my tip. No, I don't like that. No, I'm not gonna come to your fucking parties. No, I don't want to be among you. No, you lazy. You know. Now, what I'm saying is, you gotta have, you need balls to be able to do that, because the society is gonna give you a pushback, and the society is gonna want you to speak to be very careful, because you don't want to make everybody mad. You don't want to make my mad. Why? Because the society knows that whenever you like that, then you become. Because listen, I made a video about the wolves. Two wolves, the one that you feed, and very fortunately, somebody asked me, like, okay, then how do you know which one are you feeding and which one are you not feeding? And I say that, okay, you see, when you feed the more courageous wolf, the one that is the manly wolf, you're gonna see that your life is actually gonna be better. Your life is gonna be improved. You're not gonna be depressed, actually, because when you embrace your nature, when you embrace who you are, meaning you're very active. You're socializing with people. You're talking to people. You laughing people, but also you checking motherfuckers. Meaning, if somebody tries you, you make them pay, brothers. Believe me, you're not gonna be feel sad, man. You can leave alone. You're not gonna why? Because you exercising your will to the world. Meaning, yes, the world knows you. They know you to be this type of man. They know you, like they can feel when you have a when you're a masculine man, the world can feel you. They can feel, because you're not just putting on muscle to look good. No, you really is good. You don't just put on muscle to look stronger. You really are strong. You don't just talk about mentally strength. You actually do things. You push yourself to the limit. You challenge yourself. You know, and that, guys, builds character. You know what I'm saying? That builds character. Guys, here, how you doing, brother? How you doing? You know, and that builds character. That makes you a very great man, because when you like that, you start being different from a woman. You start being a masculine, and when you're more masculine, she becomes more feminine, right? It's either two things happen. Either, when a strong man meets a strong, there is no such thing as strong woman, but when a strong man meets a woman, either one, she becomes very, and she becomes very attracted to him, or she do respect him. She respects him, and whenever she knows she's in danger, she goes towards him. It doesn't mean that she don't want to fuck him or whatever, but she can feel that, no, him, he's a foundation. He's a mountain that I can lean on to. He's a rock. He's a solid rock. He's the Superman that I can call upon. Right now, I'm not saying you gotta be Captain Save a Hoe, but I'm just saying that her instinct will realize you that whenever you are around, she'll feel safe. Why? Because you yourself, you don't mind getting dirty. You don't mind pulling teeth if you have to. You don't mind shaking things and blowing, wind if you have to. Why? Because you love this. You enjoy you became one with yourself. You become one with yourself. But again, in this world, in this society today, we have the society shaming us, to actually be men. They want us to just be pussies and cuddles and babies and just be these grown ups that have kids in their mind, that have babies in their head, right? But now, me, I'm saying, no, be a man, right? Like if you want to be vulnerable, express yourself. Because as a man, like again, like I said, if you want to be vulnerable, do manly shit. That's being vulnerable to a man because you're gonna lose, right? You might lose, so you took a risk. You know, you checking somebody who is checking another kid or a human being or another man or a woman who is acting recklessly. That might lead into a fight, which might lead into a shootout, which might lead into death, which might lead into many things. But you understand that as a man, you bring order. You understand that no, as a man, you see something that is being fucked over, and you put some you know order to it. You know, you see an old lady that she's getting robbed, you step up. That's what means being a man. Being a man it really means that now you stand on your ground and you dictate reality how you want it to be reality, and you impose your own morals and your own will, and you make the world a better place. So being vulnerable, being too much into your emotions, being too much into your feelings, being too much into how you feel, that don't get the job done. No, that really do not get the job done. Like if you want to get the job done, you must put your little emotions. And actually, when you're more emotional, you become more and more of a woman, and women become more and more uninterested because you just become like her, man. You become just like her. And listen, women already have pussy, so they don't need a second pussy. So if you just like her, then she just look at you and she's like, man, look at this thing, like you become lesser than a woman. So at least a woman, we know her as a, we know her as something with a pussy, right? We know a woman as a creature that has a vagina to her, right? So we know that. We know that is true, and we know that is a fact. So we go towards that. But imagine you go approach a woman, you find out that she has a dick. You gonna scream, right? You're gonna be traumatized, right? You're gonna feel some type of way, right? If you approach the woman, she look very beautiful, she look very feminine. You guys about to get it in. And she open up and she has this, she has this thing screaming, right? You're gonna be screaming. You're really gonna be screaming. You're gonna be, you're gonna lose your mind. You're gonna be traumatized in a way. You're gonna be like, God damn it. You might even take a year off without having to talk to any woman. Why? Because you've seen something that is abnormal. You've seen something that it doesn't happen. You've seen something that no, that's not how it's supposed to be. Why? Because you expected her to have a vagina. Well, it's the same thing. When a woman sees a man being a pussy, you know, it's like that. In her mind, she's like, oh, what? Like she feels very uncomfortable because your ability of being a pussy makes everybody uncomfortable. Because as a man, you're supposed to be a rock. You have to be like your dick, strong, hard, and pointing forward. You know, Listen, everything is on you, man. If you wanna know how to be a man, look at your dick. What does your dick have? It has balls, two set of balls, and straightness to it. If you wonder how do I talk like a man? How do I be like a man? Well, be like your dick, not be like your penis. Straight, strong, and up front. A limp dick or a dick that is soft, it doesn't get the work done. You see what I mean? Like if you're a man and your dick it ain't working, it ain't gonna it's not really gonna get the work done. And the woman she might just be like, okay, never mind, and she gonna walk out and leave. Why? Because your shit is soft. It's the same fucking thing in real life, man. It's the same goddamn thing. If a woman sees you, instead of being straight about shit, you put your you put your you go limp, dick. You put your your tail between your legs, she ain't gonna respect that. She's not gonna respect that. She's gonna be like she might not tell you, but instinctively, she's not gonna respect that, and she's not gonna feel safe with you. Now, I'm not saying that you should go around trying to be a safe space for women. I'm not. I'm not safe space for nobody. I don't give a fuck. You know. Now, does that mean that I go around shooting? Like being crazy? No. I just know that no, I'm not. Like I don't. I'm going. I know what kind of man that I am, and I know my duty to the society and to my community, right? So I'm gonna make sure that I'm straight. I'm doing things for the betterness of my community, but I'm not gonna waste my time. I'm not gonna be here trying to be, you know, just for her, just trying to be a safe space, because that's another way of, we're getting fooled right here. Oh, do this, or buy her this, or no, or get her this, or no, don't say things like this, or no, don't be like this, because she's not gonna feel safe. Listen, you're not a creep. And matter of fact, we do know that there is no such thing as creepiness. When you creepy, that means a woman just don't like you. But going back to what I was saying, right, guys, it's not cool to be vulnerable. And if you want to be a vulnerable, then be vulnerable in a masculine way. What is being, vulnerable in a masculine way? That means that you have to be able to take risks. You have to be able to tell somebody to shut up if they're talking too much and they're too loud. You have to be able to stand up, and if somebody wants it, you gotta give it to them. That's being vulnerable, because when you're vulnerable, you know, as a man, when you're being vulnerable, that means confrontation might come. You know what I'm saying? Meaning you might be with your girl, and then you might see somebody with a gun, right? You might see somebody with a gun, and maybe you have a gun, and you're gonna have to take them out before they take everyone else out. And who knows the law, by law, you might get incarcerated, right? You might get locked up for doing that. But you as a man, you know that if you wasn't gonna stop that, that motherfucker was probably gonna shoot out to everybody. He was gonna kill everybody. So you know that you gotta do something before anything bad happens. That's being vulnerable. That's really being vulnerable, because there is consequences that comes after that. You know, what is being vulnerable as a man is taking that goddamn job that is, it's taking that goddamn job and not really having to give a fuck. Meaning you're gonna go to McDonald's and walk your way up, because you know that nobody's gonna give you nothing as a man. So you know that, oh, I must work, man. I must push that Uber. I gotta do that Uber thing, and somebody gotta eat, and I have to. For now, I'm that guy that's gonna be feeding the community. Meaning, I'm gonna do that Uber delivery, whatever. Why? Because it must be done, man. I gotta do it. You know what I'm saying? But if you're too much vulnerable, if you're crying on the shoulder of your mama, then you're not gonna get shit done. And plus, your mom, she will only tolerate you for a certain, amount of time. Even your girl, she's going to be able to tolerate you for a critical period of time. But then she'll be able to throw you on the side. She'll be able to be like, all right, kid, look, get the fuck on. Okay, be a man. She'll tell you, like, listen, be a man, okay? Stop fucking around. And she'll get tired of your ass. So me, what I'm saying is like, nah, listen, embrace who you are. Find pleasure in being a man, man. Meaning enjoy, laugh, fight. Do things. Yeah, be active, man. Conquer things. Go to your job. Shake your boss hands and shake it like a man. Don't shake it timidly. You know, if they give you a task to do, do it perfectly. You know. So guys, I'm about to get out of here. I'm about to get out of here. But what I'm saying is, you really have to be able to stand up in your shit. You know, this when a side tells you to be vulnerable, it's telling you to be weak. It's telling you to be a person. And disclaimer, and what to take out of this, the society is gonna abandon you, because once you get, because the more you listen, the more you tap into your emotions, the more you become like a woman. The more you become like a woman, That means you need more protection from you need protection from the outside sources. And those people from outside sources, they don't give a shit. So they're gonna abandon you to die. They're gonna leave like the society. Listen, the society wants you to be weak, but also they want you to be strong at the same time. And those things do not work. If you're gonna be masculine, then you have to be masculine to the way, to your death. You can't be weak and masculine at the same time. Because masculine, it requires strength, meaning it requires for you to be mentally strong, physically strong, and have the balls to take on the world as is. Meaning you don't ask why. You just do and you just be or you die. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't ask, oh, why everybody hates me. No. You just ask yourself, no, why do I give a fuck? You know, you don't ask yourself, oh, should I tell the chef they didn't cook my steak well? No, you just do it. You're like, hey, this thing that you just gave me, I didn't. This is not what I ordered. And you tell them that might come off as mean, but remember, it's not being made to be straight. As a matter of fact, it's actually being polite. You know, it's being polite. If your woman is getting fat, if she's getting overweight, then you tell her, listen, baby, you're getting overweight. You know, I can barely carry you. Maybe I'm getting weaker, but you gaining weight. So I'm gonna need you to go to the gym. She might like it, and she will like it. You know, she will like it if she likes to. You know, but if she's so secure and so weak, then you must let her go. Because, like I always say, like a lion, a male lion don't fuck a female cheater. No, he fucks a female lion. Why? Because they both have the same nature, same goddamn thing with us too. If by you telling your woman she's gaining weight makes her uncomfortable, then she's actually not your woman. She's too weak to be your woman. You know, so I'm down for the video, but the take was if you want to know what's the take of this video, guys, is that the way we are vulnerable as men is through self-expressions, meaning don't keep things within you, right? If you don't like something, state your point, state your case. If you like something, state your case. If you like a woman, tell her you like her. Okay, don't try to be on some, oh, I don't want to be a sim, man. Shut the fuck up. Tell her, hey, listen, I want you here. I want you to be mine. I want you to be my woman. I want you to come here. Right? Tell her. If you don't like her, tell her to. What you just did, I don't fuck with that. Yeah, you know what? Get up. Straight like that. Like I said, that's being vulnerable, right? Because there is a risk of the world criticizing you, of being bad, of being criticized to be bad. Right? Are you a bad person? No. You're just telling. You're just being real. You're just being honest. To be honest, you're just being honest. And the world always asks for people to be honest, right? So you want to give them what they want. You know, if you're hungry, then you tell everybody you're hungry and you need to eat. If you can get the food, you get yourself some food, or you ask for food. But you just don't sit there and expect, the people to handle things to you. No, that's not manly. That's feminine because actually a woman, she expects the boy to give her things. Because we sometimes we will, but as a man, you don't expect nothing. You don't expect nothing. You work for everything. You earn your way to the top. You're the same thing. It's gonna be the same thing. So if you really wanna, be vulnerable, listen, always remember this. Whenever the society tells you, oh, always you hear a woman say, I want my man to be vulnerable, you know what you should say? What you should think is this. That means his man is too much of a pussy. Whenever you hear a woman say, "Oh, I want my man to be vulnerable," she means, yeah, she means that she wants her man to be able to be upfront, to be able to be honest, to be able to say, "No, I fuck that. I don't like that." Like she wants her man to be vulnerable in that manner, not cry on her shoulders, not tell her about how his day went, not tell her who hurt him or who said he was fat, who said he was skinny, or who called him a nigga. None of that. She doesn't want that. When a woman is asking for a man being vulnerable, what she's asking for is you to be honest with the world and with yourself, right? If you're hungry, if if like if you're hungry and if you're mad, if you let the world know. You know what I'm saying? You let the world know. If somebody stepping in your shoe, you tell them, listen, bro, you too close, man. Step back. All right, step back. And if they don't want to step back, you push them. Like literally, you push them. That's being vulnerable. Because once you push him, he might swing back, or he might come up with a pistol. But like I said, men we don't leave long for a reason. You know, listen. What I'm saying, guys, if you're watching me, is you know being vulnerable for in a masculine way. That's what it means. It means being honest. You know, but it's being honest in a manly way, in saying like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. No, fuck that. Somebody might say cut your hair. You said no, I'm not gonna cut my hair. No, fuck that. You know, somebody say, oh, listen, to be among us, you have to know you. You're like, listen, if I have to kiss your ass to be here, then fuck you. You get out. Literally, that's being honest. That's being honest, and that's your challenge today. And this coming week, be vulnerable, man. Express yourself. You want somebody, you see a woman on the bus station, go tell her why you going, you talking to her. That's being vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? She might say no. She might even slap you. Some women did. Some women give me a clap. Some women did slap me before. You know, but I was like, okay, she slapped me. But what I'm saying, guys, is you have to be masculine in that way. Vulnerable, vulnerable to men, it simply means that be more manly. That's what it means. It means take more shit and don't take no shit. Yeah, give more shit and be more assertive, more domineering, meaning for sure express yourself. You know, do not let that woman carry her baggage. You carry that shit. That's being that's being very vulnerable. You telling a woman, listen, I want you here. She might say, oh, no, 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 like she might see you, whatever. But what I'm saying, guys, is you have to be vulnerable in a manly way, in a masculine way, beginning now, starting from today. Look in your eyes. If you live with your family, start taking, playing a role in your family, meaning you wake up, you clean up, you set order, you place things, you give everybody, assert yourself in a manly way, meaning you tell you if you have little kids or little siblings, you you tell them what your parents expect of you guys, and then you enforce those things. And you don't have to beat them, but you have to step up. You have to, and you really have to be able to step up. And this is being vulnerable because you're gonna have a pushback, but you gotta be man about it, right? So whenever you hear the water, the side is talking about, oh, we want vulnerable men, simply understand the study with our woman. It's either, she wants a man that is actually more of a man. Whenever you hear I want my man to be vulnerable, it simply means I want my man to be more masculine. That's what it means. In like that's woman is like in a woman is in a woman's language. That's what it means. Now when a woman says I want my man to be more like she's not gonna tell you I want my man to be more masculine. Nah, that's not how they talk. That's not how they talk because they know the side. So women talk indirectly. That's why the pussy is soft. Right? And we love soft pussy. But a man, we talk more direct. Men, we more straight to the point. Why? I mean, look at them, the anatomy of a man. Mm. From your mind to your dick to your legs, everything has to be straight. Straight shoulders, straight brain, straight words. Everything got to be straight. Right? So that's the idea, guys. Whenever you hear somebody or people in the world say, "I want my man is, I want him to be in touch with, you know, his emotions," that's a lie. But when you hear the word say, "No, I want my man to be vulnerable with me. I want him to tell me how he feels," that's a very lie. You know, if anything, if you're gonna tell her how you feel, tell her what to do. Okay, tell her what you expect from her. Not just her, the whole world. You know what is good for the world. You know that in your society there has to be order, and then you have to be that guy to enforce it. I'm not saying play captain, save everybody, but I'm saying that you, my brother, have to be a man about your shit. Again, take no shit, give shit, and have balls. That's being vulnerable. Thank you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you, G. Oh, damn, my name is Chris. Dolly B. Thank you, Dolly B. Thank you, CP Product. Thank you, Zahir. Thank you, Deep. Ahmed. Thank you, bro. Thank you guys for being here. And, anybody that I haven't mentioned that will be able to watch this, they'll be able to catch up the live after. Thank you again. Everybody's going to be watching. Thank you, guys. Remember, I'll be doing I'm gonna be posting short videos on every Thursdays and Wednesday. So please be around and also leave in comments whatever you want me to talk about, what kind of titles you want me to talk about, what kind of videos you want me to react to. I'm gonna get my PC because my PC I gave it to my sister, but I'm gonna get a small one because I had a bigger one, so I'm gonna get a small one and I will be back. You're right. That means you guys will be able to see my face once more. But for now, for the time being, it's just gonna be, audio slash video, small, 7 minutes clips, right? But for that being said, guys, thank you for being here, and I see you on Wednesday and Thursday with the short videos. And remember, it takes balls and the backbone to be a man. Thank you for watching, and peace unto you, brothers. Goodbye.